Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. The following video will contain spoilers about part 1 of the pilot episode of Legends of Tomorrow. So if you don't want anything ruined or spoiled for you, stop watching now. For everybody here, hey guys, Dave here. Well, it's been about a year since we got to see the first trailer for Legends of Tomorrow, and it looks like they're setting things up pretty interestingly. I mean, how many times has the timeline actually reset since the first time it was actually done? We didn't get to see Green Arrow and Flash on the rooftop with the heroes assembling. Of course, we didn't expect to get Hawkman in the series as well. We're just going to expect Hawkgirl. So that's a step up a bit. But it's just kind of weird. I mean, it starts off with all hell breaking loose in London in the future. A couple getting, a mother and son getting wiped out by Vandal Savage's army. And Rip pleading to the Time Masters to try to fix it. They're even get some names dropped. Perdegaton, bad guy that's hanging with the Justice Society a few times in the comics. Think time-traveling Nazi and you get an idea. Very badass. But he's trying to do everything he can to get to him. And eventually we see him boarding the Wave Rider. So there's a big comic book event a while back called Armageddon 2001. The Wave Rider was the name of a superhero that was time traveling in there, so that was kind of cool. But Gideon is the AI. More than that, see, Gideon is supposed to be the AI created by Barry Allen, the Flash. And a version of that is being used for them. Here's the thing that gets me. It was how she described herself. Interactive artificial construct. See, those words, or initials, IAC, that reminded me of Brainiac in Smallville. Now, everyone gives Arrow such a lot of crap because of the Rose Gallery from Batman he borrowed. In a weird way, Gideon is a weird kind of thing they're kind of trying to take from Superman, but making Gideon a little bit better and a nicer thing for time travelers to have for AI. So, weird little thing here. Now, we get to see the team assembled, or at least offered to be assembled, and then it's really interesting seeing why everyone wants to try to get on board. Ray Palmer really wants to do a lot of good stuff. Professor Stein wants to have his adventures and actually see the things he's been theorizing for decades. I get that. I can't believe he had to roofie Jax. I'm sorry, not roofie. I made this joke in one of the Facebook groups. He didn't roofie him. Okay, he slipped him some a Mickey rather than that. Better sleeping pills than roofies, I suppose, but this is a family show. Anyway, turns out they all end up getting assembled, and we also get introduced to another element, Kronos, a time-traveling bounty hunter sent by the Time Master. That's going to be interesting. But we get to see a lot of things going on in here. I mean, part of the team goes off to investigate this professor who did spend his entire life finding out more about Vandal Savage, and it turns out Boardman is actually the son of one of the incarnations of Carter and Kendra. Now, this is cool. In the comic books, there is a guy named Hector Hall. He actually was one of their sons back in the day. He was actually pretty cool. He had a couple different super secret identities in the comics. Silver Scarab. He was actually Dr. Fate for a while. So that was kind of cool. And we didn't really see too many about the children of the Halls before. So this is an interesting little touch. And the fact that he made it his life mission to find out more about Carter, not Carter, but Vandal is pretty decent. So they go back to 1975 to encounter him, and meanwhile, the more roguish people of the group decide to go out and hit a bar, and the bar starts hitting back, and they hit back harder. It's really kind of freaking hilarious. Hearing the showrunners describe the guys, they say that the best way to describe Legend of Tomorrow is crazy. And I can kind of see why, because it's a mishmash about trying to figure these things out and stop this bad guy from creating this domino effect in the future. And then not only have to deal with Kronos, we find out that Rip Hunter actually left the Time Masters because they weren't going to do anything. So he hijacked the ship. Kronos is after him for that. And the other thing is that he picked them because supposedly all these heroes and stuff, the legends, he fed them a great line, but turns out they would have minimal effect on the timeline as he knows it. But time's always in motion. Time's always flowing. You're giving these people a chance to change things, and they're starting to realize they can either be nobodies or they can actually go ahead and try to do something bigger. Now, it's a really interesting way that they're trying to do it, and it's interesting how that's coming together. Now, with Green Arrow, we know about the story. We read the comic books, and we saw how they were trying to progress from what we remember reading to this. The Flash, we grew up with the comic books, and we're getting into this to see how they're doing it. But with the Legends of Tomorrow, we get to see something we haven't really got the chance to see, which is something completely experimental. It's taking these characters that we've seen introduced into the show's DC television universe, and they're putting them together, and we've never really seen this team. Yes, there's been comic books called Legends before, where there are mishmashes of heroes, a bit of villains here and there from different times that are doing their thing. But this feels different. We never really grew up reading this, so there's nothing exactly like it. The best way I can describe the Legends of Tomorrow is part Justice League, part Suicide Squad, all pretty interesting to watch. I was kind of personally hoping for more. This is just a part one of the premiere, I was hoping to get a little bit more into it, but it is pretty cool to see how they're trying to bring it together. It's just getting its feet, going. It's just getting it started. So I'm definitely going to keep watching it. I mean, heck, I made a couple parody songs naming them, for goodness sake. By the way, go check out my Flashback Funk Nth Metal remix video. So, hey, Hawk Girl herself, Sierra Renee, actually liked when I tweeted the thing to her. So, I gotta brag. You don't want to hear me bragging about it? Okay, you make a parody song, you send it to her, and let her get props for it, okay? How about that? Okay. We good? We good. All right. But, yeah. It's an okay show. How do I feel? I was hoping for more. I really was, with all the build-up and stuff for the last year. But like I said, this is part one. If they were going to do a part two, 2-hour premiere movie of it, maybe people would lose interest. Maybe they weren't. At least they're keeping it at an hour at a time to try to keep building up momentum. So that way you're not going to be bored, you're not going to be overwhelmed, you're not going to be losing anything. So that's not bad in its own way, but the show has a lot of promise, but we don't know exactly what's going to happen with these guys. The mishmash is anything can happen. It's it's chaos theory in a ship is what it is. But like I said, it hasn't fully grabbed me yet. I wanted it to, but I'm still going to keep watching. I expect more stuff to happen. I expect more little cameos. We're probably going to get more of Green Arrow and the Flash coming in there in one of the bigger fights later on. But I don't know. It feels weird. But at the same time, I mean, right now I think one of my favorite scenes had to be the bar scene. So that's going to be something. This gives us a chance to actually see something that they're really experimenting with, trying to expand on. The way that Marvel's doing Agent Carter and how it's becoming a bit of a hit, going with the retro nostalgia thing. They're trying to do something also experimental with that with DC's Legends of Tomorrow, and it's worth a shot. I say that if you're a fan of Arrow, if you're a fan of The Flash, definitely check it out. If you don't like the first part of the pilot episode, it's just the first half of it. Give it a chance. I'm looking forward to seeing next week. I want to see more where this is going to go. We have not seen this combination before, and it's a ride that I want to see where it takes me. Has it really fully excited and titillated me just yet? Not yet, but it's still fun to watch. So, that's just my opinion. Please, what do you guys think? Go ahead and give me a shout out here. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, pass this bad boy around. And, like I said, it's part Justice League, part Suicide Squad, all pretty cool to watch. So, at the very least, it's worth taking a peek at. like I said, I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys think about it. And I know it's keeping it a little bit brief, but yeah, it was a good show. We haven't quite got the same, moments. It's definitely not the same clips that we saw in the original trailer. Things have changed since then. I want more, and I'm going to keep watching it. I mean, so far The Flash is still my favorite of all three of the shows, but this is a carrying over, and I want to give it a chance. A part of that apprehension is I don't know where these guys are going to go with it, but that's also part of the fun. It's going to be the wild ride. It's going to be really hard to predict what's going to happen in here. So that's cool. So best thing I could say is hang on to your hats, buckle up, and enjoy the ride for Legends of Tomorrow, and let's see where it goes. I'm sure that they're going to do something else, altering the timeline and whatnot here and there, so we'll have to see what happens. All right, guys, until next time, Dave signing off. Peace. Yum, yum.